Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Now before we get into today's video of part 1 of Scary Story Saturdays, I'm just going to also let you know that since due to the space on my phone, this will be quick and short, but the second part will come out after this video. And also I have decided to do my Army Napoleonic War Soldiers, the first half, on Monday. So without further ado, let's get to the story. Everyone knows the famous story of a true crime case involving demon possession that to prove that alleged murderer was innocent but to no avail. If you know about the third Conjuring film, the recent movie that came out probably a couple years ago, The Devil Made Me Do It, that is what I'm referring to. But the case of Arnie Cheyenne Johnson wasn't the first case that involved spirits or paranormal events to defend or prove a case in court. The very first case to ever be recorded in U.S. history that has a ghost involved as evidence or circumstantial evidence to a murder was during the investigation of Elva Shue's murder in West Virginia, Greenbrier. This is her story. During the month of January 1897, her mother, Mary Jane Hester of Greenbrier, West Virginia, was grieving about the death of her daughter Elva Zona Hester Shue, who had died in mysterious circumstances at the age of 23. What was presumed and recorded to be the cause of death of poor Elva was stated by the coroner, quote, complications resulting from childbirth. Her mother was adamant to the coroner that her daughter wasn't pregnant when she died. Elva did have a child 2 years earlier before her passing, which makes this report of her death to be preposterous and apocryphal, to suggest that after giving birth to her child 2 years ago, all of a sudden her health would deteriorate to where she would die those 2 years later. Her mother was indeed not satisfied with the results, but her suspicion of the death of her daughter grew into light by the testimony of a physician by the name of Dr. Knapp, who was also the coroner. He entered Elva's home that night to come across her husband of 3 years, Edward Erasmus Shue, in an agitated state. It would turn out that Edward had taken his dead wife's body upstairs in one of the bedrooms, where he would redress her in her finest Sunday dress before the coroner could examine her. Another thing about Edward Shue was that he just married Elva, who was his new bride. The coroner would note about Edward's fits of grief, stating, quote, he cradled his newly wedded wife's body in his arms as he wailed melodramatically like a music hall villain. In other words, he was grieving very, very heavily. When Dr. Knapp asked to examine her body, Edward Shue immediately refused to let Dr. Knapp look closer at his wife's corpse, insisting that he should be left alone to grieve the sudden loss of his wife. When questioned about his wife's sudden passing, he would tell Dr. Knapp that he knew nothing about the circumstances that led to her death, as the body was discovered by a boy that he sent to the house for an errand or to retrieve something. It was the boy that had found her lying deceased body downstairs. Upon seeing this, the boy ran for help.